I saw a movie in the movie theater recently, and I had a phone experience. It was just like the theater was pretty empty, but it was me and my girlfriend, and we were sitting watching the movie. But there's these guys like in the front row, and they were, I don't know where they were from, but they were talking the whole time, and they were both on their phones, and like their phones were like brightly lit, and like I could see them like on Tinder and stuff, and they were just on their like dating apps and chatting with each other the whole time, and they were like trying to be quiet, but it was super loud still, and like the screen is so bright, like you could see it from anywhere. So I did. It was the first time I've ever done this, but like halfway through, I did like on my way to the bathroom, I walked up to them and was like, guys, like we can see everything and hear everything. Can you not? And yeah, they looked at me and turned it down, and that was nice. That was the first time I've ever done that, though. I bring this up because we talked about it last time, the movie theater.
Oh yeah, I would have done it in the very first.
Oh, because
10
Killy
minutes.
does
No,
that.
because Killy was on his phone and talking when I was watching the last movie
Because
with him.
Killy likes to read the Wikipedia of the movie that we're watching.
Oh, I know.
So he does that in a movie
I
theater.
would for a
I
shitty
guess.
movie like Final Destination for sure, yeah, but not for the good ones.
But are you saying you would have gone up and told them too?
Yeah,
But you're the guy that does it.
but mine was not that
Democracy.
bright.
No, but it is very bright. In a dark theater, like I could see everything.
What movie were you watching?
28 years later.
That's a serious film, yeah. It's not a funny film
That's
like.
the same as
Funny
Final
film.
Destination.
So Killy was doing that for Final Destination. Apparently, that's a funny movie.
But don't worry, Killy would be the first one to tell someone to stop doing that if it wasn't him.
Yeah, of course.
Be the change you want to see in the world.
Welcome to Fear of Stairs, Desi Films Decoded, the podcast where four friends from different backgrounds unlock the world of Desi cinema. I'm Winnie, the Desi who's never been to India.
Hi, I'm Killy. I'm from India. I love films.
My name is Nikki, and I'm okay. All right, I'll stop.
Without the racism, please.
My name is Nikki. I'm from Thailand, and I think a Thai version of Forrest Gump is a bad idea.
Yeah, I think a Thai version of Forrest Gump would suck. I'm Adam. I'm the American movie buff. And yeah, welcome to Fear of Stairs. What movie did we watch?
Well, my introduction gave it away. We're doing the Indian adaptation of Forrest Gump, Laal Singh Chaddha. And from my quick research, it was actually a flop.
A box office flop, yeah.
Big bomb. I was
riddance.
kind of surprised to learn that too. So one thing, there's often like a lot of like Indian spin-offs, right? Or like remakes or something, but this one was officially licensed. So like the studio Paramount that made the original Forrest Gump like produced this. It has the original screenwriter on board as well. So like this is like this is a big deal. And I think it's kind of weird that this movie bombed as well, because Forrest Gump was Paramount's highest grossing film until Transformers. Like it was their biggest blockbuster ever. It made like $400 million just domestically. Tom Hanks got an Oscar. It was a huge hit. They did a whole bunch of restaurants. The Bubba Gump Shrimp restaurants came from that movie, right? So it makes sense to like redo it. And with Paramount's blessing and stuff, it's a big deal, and you have a big star. It stars Aamir Khan and stuff, but it was a bomb. So after we watched this, I watched the original Forrest Gump to try to figure out like why. And I have two theories, and then we can go into the plot. So the first one is the original Forrest Gump is very like reprehensible in terms of like its plot. Like it is a very conservative movie, and the basic lessons, if you guys remember the plot, is like if you care about anything, like Lieutenant Dan does, he's very patriotic, and he's trying to fight for something above himself. If you care about anything like that, or if you have a dream and try to achieve it, like Jenny does, she wants to be a musician and really fights for her dream. If you do anything like that, you will be punished. Like your life is cursed. You will like die miserable. Like life will just like rain down terror on you if you try anything like this. However, if you're someone like Forrest Gump, who just kind of nods his head and doesn't really question anything, there's a lot of absurd things that happen because of the timeline of that film. It's like, you know, it goes through the 60s and the movie was released in 1994. You know, they go through all these different presidential assassinations and stuff, and it's just always in the background. Like, he doesn't really question anything. When he's on the steps of the Washington Monument and he's asked to give his thoughts on the Vietnam War that he was in, he doesn't say anything. The audience can't hear it. Like, they do a thing in the movie where like these guys like remove his microphone so no one hears what he says. So you never hear his stance on anything. But basically, if you just nod along, really good things will happen for you. You'll get really rich. So just shut the fuck up and just, you know, don't question stuff and you'll be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So the message is not great. The other problem with the movie is that the main character is like slow, you know, and to quote Tropic Thunder, like, you never go full retard, right? But he mentions Forrest Gump. Like, Forrest Gump never went full retard. He was slow, but he's not like stupid. And Forrest Gump is just a slow guy. I realized after watching this new movie that I have immense respect for Tom Hanks as an actor now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do not think this role is possible.
Yeah.
Unless you're Tom Hanks.
It wouldn't fly right today, I think.
It wouldn't fly at any time, but the movie still holds up in terms of that character, the original one, because Tom Hanks is an incredible actor. He's just can convey so much through his eyes, through his emotions. He knows exactly like how to handle a character, and I really think that like I don't think any other actor could possibly touch this type of role. We see what happens when someone else does. So I think the one reason why this movie didn't do well is just straight up it's not Tom Hanks. I showed you guys those two clips. I think the thing that defines the acting gap here is, so this movie, which we'll get to, is the same exact plot as Forrest Gump. So if you've seen Forrest Gump, we'll go through it. But he meets his son, and when Tom Hanks is meeting the son, like, I do tear up at that scene. Like, he sees his son, he says very few words, and you can just see like his inner monologue the whole time. And he pulls it off. And the line he says when he first sees his son is he smart? And then he gets choked up and can't finish the sentence, right? But in the new one, you see it. And I mean, Aamir Khan just isn't Tom Hanks. And that scene he doesn't pull off that scene. It's not the same. And I think the big giveaway too is when he says, is he smart or is he like me? Like, he keeps having to add words because he can't act it, you know. And whenever you can't act something, you have to just keep adding words. And so that's like, I noticed that so hard, was like, he has to explain it so that we get it. Tom Hanks doesn't need to do that, and he just can't pull off that type of scene. And I literally don't think many people can. Now, the bigger, I think, flop issue, because Aamir Khan's still a big star, he sells out movies, so that shouldn't be the bigger issue. But Forrest Gump, again, was released in 1994. And the Cold War just kind of ended. And it was a big boomer victory lap. President Clinton was in office since 92. Everyone in that boomer generation was getting into positions of power. You know, Tom Hanks and the director, Robert Zemeckis, were boomers as well. Like, and the whole movie is about the boomers' experience in America leading up to the point where the whole world is presented to them on a platter, right? Like, it's America's for the taking, and the boomers are the ones in those positions of power to take advantage of it. So I think it was a huge hit because it's a big galvanizing movie about a very important time period that a very influential generational experience at the same time, right? It was very, tumultuous. Like, there were tons of assassinations, and you did have the Vietnam War, and you had a lot of change and a lot of technological upheaval, and it culminates with the boomers winning out. And the boomers are inherently pretty conservative, right? And that message, I think, does resonate with them a bit. And so that movie was just a big victory lap for them. Like, we did it, we own the world. This movie, so not just you don't have Tom Hanks as an actor, but this movie coming out in 2002 is
2022.
Sorry, thank you. 2022. Number one, no one has that type of galvanizing generational thing that the boomers experienced in the 60s. And India is not in a place in 2022 where, like, they own the world now and they're doing a big victory lap. And it's not due to a bunch of series of events that led them to there either. So I don't think they have the same like uniform hegemonic like view of history that the boomers did at that time. And the other very important part is that, like I said, like Forrest Gump has no political opinions. He doesn't say anything about the Vietnam War in the movie. Presidents, he meets multiple presidents from different parties. They mean nothing to him. It's a very apolitical movie for a very political time, besides like its very conservative message. But this new one, Laal Singh Chaddha, is very explicitly political. So there's no way it can be galvanizing because people are going to take issue with it, no matter what side you're on. And so now we can like kind of get into it. But those are the two things that I think like, why would this kind of exact same movie be the biggest hit in the world, you know, then and now it's just a huge bomb and no one really connects with it. And so anyways, those are my two thoughts going into this.
Yeah, so I would think that if they did the huge political upheave that they were showing was around when the BJP came to power, like before that Anna Hazare movement and stuff like that. We'll get into it. So if the film would have come out around that point of time, it might have had that impact. But by the time 2022, people are like already forgotten about it and realize that what a crappy movement that was. So that even doesn't ring any bell to Indian subconscious. And so I think that's a big point. And I heard somewhere that this film was about to be released like long back, and then they keep on pushing the release date. I mean, it was supposed to be released before COVID for sure, and then the COVID happened, and I think it was released in like during COVID time, right, 2022. So the theater options were less, and then it was mostly released on OTT, and then of course like OTT doesn't make much money. So I think that those things were also played a huge role in this film becoming not a very successful one. And then also I feel that people know about Forrest Gump a lot, and it's a very substantially different level of filmmaking. And then Forrest Gump already had a huge fan base, so it's always up for comparison. It's like a taste that it cannot pass kind of thing. But anyway, let's
But wait, before that, no, I think Adam has a point about the acting, because it was a box office flop, but like critical reception wise, it received mixed reviews. It was not completely panned by critics. But one point that critics did point out was Aamir Khan's acting, and they found it over exaggerated or repetitive. So I think that is an important point. And this is the first time where I'll kind of tend to agree with it. I love Aamir Khan, but this is probably the third movie we've watched now where he's acting kind of like in a bit of a retarded manner. There was PK, and then there's this, and you kind of see the repetition going in. It starts kind of losing that raw emotion that we got out of Tom Hanks. And another interesting point was that they took like 10 years to write the script, which was really mind-blowing for me because it's so similar to Forrest, right? There's like almost no creativity. I mean, it's nice that it sticks to the source material, but you still expect a bit of creative expression. And I think this movie kind of lacks that in a way.
Yeah, the acting, just to harp on that too, like rewatching the original, yeah, like Forrest Gump is slow, but through Tom Hanks's acting, like he always has like a reason for doing something. Like, and you can always see his reason for doing something. Again, he's such a good actor that he doesn't need a lot of words, but he has motivation and like an interiority. So he's not retarded. He's not. And like he has desires and like he has opinions and stuff. But in this one, Aamir Khan plays like a dummy that just does whatever he's told at all times and never really like has his own character, grappling with things. And so he did go full retard on the one, in the one movie that really pulled it off the last time.
I think it failed because of box of Golgappas. Because no one in India carries Golgappa in a box.
Which is weird because in America, everyone carries a box of chocolates. So that would like really hit home. No, nobody carries a box.
I mean, no, box of chocolates is a reality.
It is a real thing.
It also makes
but
sense.
box of Golgappa is not a real thing.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like life is like a box of chocolates. You won't know what you're gonna get. The one, the Golgappa one, is like you said, you don't carry Golgappa in a box. And this whole thing about how even if your belly is full, sometimes your heart is not full. Like, I did not understand
that. Makes no sense.
At
It has nothing
all.
to do with that
The
dish.
film plot as well. Yeah.
And can you explain what that dish is, by the way, for listeners?
Golgappa or pani puri. I think more
I noticed
Westerners
pani
will.
puri. I didn't notice the
So
other
pani
one.
puri. I mean, it's a little ball cracker thing. You make a hole. You put some potato in. You put some like green spicy chutney and a bit of tamarind sauce, and it's kind of like it explodes in your mouth. Bunch of flavors. It's really tasty.
It's one of my favorite foods.
Yeah, it's a very common street food in India, but also notorious for causing food poisoning if your stomach is not used to the food in India.
I think that's why they took 10 years. They were trying to figure out what can we do with the
Just the
simile.
Well, that's the other problem is like if you're doing it 10 years ago or more recent, you have to map out the timeline of events. And like in the original Forrest Gump, like there was a very easy timeline to follow, right? Because it's up until like the 90s, and there's these set of historical events that led to this moment. That all is all very clear. But if you're doing it in India in random times, then you have to like find a war. So like we see the movie struggle with that. Like they have to find a war that maps onto the Vietnam War, and you have to like find a company like Bubblegum Shrimp that like maps on to this time period too. It just doesn't translate.
Also, timeline was like the war happened so long back, and then like in 1996 or 7, and then the last part of the film's happening in 2012, 13, like after all these years. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, I think we should get into this plot.
Let's get into
quickly.
we can get into the specific plot.
Well, the thing is, I'm just gonna add in a little bit. Just like I was thinking that coming from Thailand, it's like we learn a lot about Western history, right? So when we watch Forrest Gump, we tend to recognize the events that Forrest encounters, basically. But with this movie, it's like I was so lost, man. Like I had no idea with Indian history. I guess it's just it can't be helped. Like we don't learn that sort of thing. So I actually had to have Keely guide me through the entire movie, where he does like long explanations. I'm gonna try my best covering the points in the story, and if I fumble somewhere along the way, you guys can help me out.
Yeah, Killy, we're gonna lean on Killy a lot for this one. Before we break in, I just want to ask too, Killy, did you see this movie or was it a thing? Like, did people talk about this at all?
I mean, people know, like, who watch Hollywood films and people who watch Hollywood classics. Everyone knows Forrest Gump. Yeah.
Actually, that's right. The reason that we even got to this movie was because my high school friend Nirman, he recommended me this movie. He said there is an Indian version of Forrest Gump, and then I asked him, "Is it good?" He's like, "I don't like it. He does not like it." And he's Sikh as well, so I don't know.
Shout out to Nirman. I owe you my life forever. I'll never forget you, Nirman. I love you.
Number one fan. And it was so funny. Like later, like months later, I told him. So I finally watched it, and he was like, "Oh, why did you watch it?" I said, "For the podcast." And he was like, "You're doing a podcast?"
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what he said.
So you thought you were just watching it for fun?
He thought like we were watching Indian movies for fun this whole time.
I would never watch Indian movies for fun.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Never in a million years.
He's joking. He loves Indian movies. Don't cancel him.
Okay, so yeah, it follows the basic same plot as Forrest Gump. You have Aamir Khan plays this guy named Laal. I mean, his name Laal Chaddha, right? And it plays out like scene for scene. But instead of like a park, he's in a train with some people, and that's where he narrates his story of events.
Which I want to say is the one big improvement. Like, I think being on the train, just visually, it's way cooler when people are chatting on the plane or on a train, and also people are stuck with him, so they have to listen. It's just like a better setting for someone to tell your whole life story. The train is better.
And then like his mom, he starts the story, he's a kid who's had like leg problems. He wears leg braces. His like great grandfathers and fathers are all soldiers. And this is where Adam mentioned that actually that did not happen in the original, because that kind of that story actually goes to Lieutenant Dan.
So they take the story of Lieutenant Dan, where all of his family members like died in previous wars, and they have a whole montage of all the actors like dying in different wars in the past. And in this one, they take that backstory for Lieutenant Dan, which we will get to. He's a very problematic character in this movie, and they give it to Forrest, or they give it to Laal Singh Chaddha. And yeah, so that was a weird edit, but it's the only way to explain why a rich guy would go to the army. It's a really, when we get to the war, we'll talk about it, but it's a very hard it's very hard to give an explanation for that if you're not drafted in the Vietnam War and stuff.
Yeah. She, they go to this priest, right? And then she offers cleaning services in the most PG way possible. That was like that's another like big change, right? I
Yeah.
wouldn't say like big, but
Do you remember, Winnie, what happens in the first one?
What?
The mom has to sleep. She has sex with the school administrator.
Oh, really?
To get her son in.
Whoa, well, that definitely wouldn't fly in Bollywood.
Yeah.
I see why
Yeah.
they changed it to cleaning.
No, so she fucks like the school administrator, and Forrest hears it
Oh my
upstairs and stuff. And then the school administrator's like leaving, like zipping up his pants, and Forrest is like mimicking the sex sounds they're making and stuff. Yeah, some of that. The original movie it's very like adult in some areas.
Yeah, these are the things that makes you laugh and like I mean the mother. I think these are the angles that's like taking the shine out of the film. Like these small things, the quirks that sparks like encouragement, like fun in the audience. These are like when they're being dull, being made dull. She's cleaning house for the school father.
Yeah, he whips out like an IQ map, and he's like, "Your son is below this IQ line," which is a very, I think, Indian way to approach that. Like, no, he's objectively stupid, and she's like, "We can't join the school." She's like, "I'll clean your house every day that he's here," and he's like, "Okay, fine."
Well, it paints her in a very dignified light. Like, I think the mom steals the show here. She is a great mother, hands down.
I think you're a better mother if you blow the administrator for your son. I think that shows that you love your kid more.
Maybe in America.
Yeah, they cannot like it would be I mean desanctify the mother character of Indian heroes.
Yeah.
The mother is like a very sanctimonious image, and then so even if she's widow, like here, like she's not doesn't have a husband or anything.
You're right.
I mean, even the widow cannot have sex. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and basically, like, Forrest Gump, he goes through, as I've said, like, he goes through historical events, meets famous celebrities, and in this one, because it's all adapted for an Indian audience, like, he goes through several tragedies, like the assassination of Indira Gandhi.
There's a scene where they're in front of Indira Gandhi's house, and they say this is where she lives, and then they hear the bullets, and then the photo clicks them like all turning around, and then later on that day they find out that the bullets they heard while taking that photo was the assassination that killed Indira Gandhi, and it was by two of her Sikh bodyguards.
Yeah.
And that's when the mom brings in the malaria thing.
Yeah, but I think what Nikki was getting at was how his mom used to frame all of this political unrest that was going on this time, telling him that it's malaria, and he needs to stay inside to hide.
So I have a question for you, Adam. With all these events being told, how does it compare to the original?
Yeah, the malaria thing is introduced in the Indian one. Like, the mom isn't protective of Forrest in the original. She's like, go out there, you're just as normal as the rest of them. This one, again, really puts forward the fact that he's super stupid. And like the mom just gives him direct orders all the time, like, stay inside, it's malaria. And he's like, okay, I'll be here for 3 weeks, boom. And so he has no personal drive. All he's doing is just listening to his mom, which I guess makes him a great son, but not an interesting character to watch in a movie. The other thing is, the celebrity he meets in the original is Elvis, but who is the celebrity he meets in this?
Shah Rukh Khan.
What does he do?
He does like the hands out dance move. I'm gesturing, but like our listeners won't see. But like he like sticks out his arms like this, I guess.
Because he's in like the leg braces, so he can only move his arms on a rooftop. And then Shah Rukh Khan like turns his head, and it's like deep fake Shah Rukh Khan's face, right?
So was it real Shah Rukh Khan?
I still don't know. I looked into it.
I was like, how did they find a kid who has such similar features to Shah Rukh Khan? But then Shah Rukh Khan did have a guest starring role in this, so it is him somehow.
But they just DH him.
Yeah.
But man, I was watching clips of like Indian audiences in cinema watching that, and even just that, they're like standing up cheering, like, oh my god, it's Shah Rukh Khan.
I think this is one spot like where I really like the film. This is the one of the spot where like, oh yeah, like that's so funny. Like it's so funny because Shah Rukh Khan, like he's taught Shah Rukh Khan that move. Like that was actually, so this is the one spot like it really takes it home, right?
It should have gone further with that stuff.
Yeah,
Just be like weird and all the like weird Indian like media fun stuff, just do
Yes,
that. Like,
I think that would have yeah.
I think it's one of the few scenes where he kind of has like a entertainment footprint. The rest of it is all political.
Yeah.
with an objective political view. Again, in the original movie, he just experiences these events, but has no interpretation of it himself, really. But in this one, like, the movie has a very explicit interpretation every time, which makes the character himself political, and that's a little hard to swallow.
Yeah. Since the Shah Rukh Khan scene is a hit for all of us, I think they actually thought of this first, and then they took another 10 years to think of the political
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, we got the Shah Rukh Khan. This is golden. If Shah Rukh Khan's in the film, by the way, like, yeah, it's golden.
That was the first and last good idea they had.
I do gotta say, it's kind of brave of Aamir Khan. I was watching interviews with Aamir Khan, and he said him and Shah Rukh Khan have had, kind of a shaky history in the past. Like, they haven't always gotten along. And, when this is Aamir Khan's big passion project. Like, he was working on this forever. Like, he was really involved the whole time. And it's his production company. So for him to, like, reach out to Shah Rukh Khan and bring him on, like, that's actually pretty cool.
I mean,
And it
that's
makes for the best moment.
The closest thing you can find to Elvis in India,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, it works. It just works.
But Elvis is, like, dead by the time we're watching the original. This one, like, Shah Rukh Khan is alive and well and in the movie. That's the other, like, that's pretty cool.
I don't think you'd find a dead legend in Bollywood that's bigger than Shah Rukh Khan. Dead or alive, like, he is the biggest legend still.
So with all these historical events happening, Lal meets this girl named Rupa. That's the love interest. That's the Jenny of the movie, and I think throughout the film so the audience can know what Lal's feeling. There's a lot of songs based around their romance.
No dancing.
And
And the characters don't sing. They're just narrators singing the emotions for you.
Yes.
Big bummer for me. For real. Like, it was too much of a serious Hollywood film, and it had songs because it's Indian, but not a dance number, and that's bullshit.
Yeah. And Rupa is like, I think if anyone who knows that name will soon figure out that there's significance to this name. But basically, it plays out the same. Like, there's that you have that scene where the bullies were like picking on Lal, and then he tries to run with his leg braces, and then they break off while Rupa yells, "Run, Lal, run!"
Doesn't sound as good.
It doesn't sound as good, but yeah, it's like that's one scene is made us all go like, there's the scene. And basically, because he runs fast, right? He he catches the attention of some coaches, and they made him run like track and field, and they also made him like do some parade with the National Cadet Corps.
Yeah, he joins track and field, right?
Yeah.
As like a runner.
Yes.
Yeah, but he never knows when to stop. Okay.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even like respond to the sound of the gun to run. He has to hear Rupa yelling, "Run, Lal, run!"
Yeah. And then like she worked, and then Rupa is like working herself as a model. She tries to be like Miss North India.
Yeah, which is not a real thing, I guess.
Jenny's dream in the
North
original. Jenny's dream in the original is to be a musician.
Okay.
And in this one, it's just to be a model.
Yeah, I mean,
Actress,
which is definitely like a actual dream of some women for sure. But I don't know, Miss North India is a thing or not.
Why didn't they just make it Miss India?
Or Miss something, Miss Punjab, or Miss something, like Miss North
Desi girl.
India. Like, what is that? Like,
Very specific North India.
yeah, Miss North India.
And then like one of many instances where like Lal is like jealous of men's attention towards Rupa. Like there's one guy named like Harry, this good looking guy, where he went to get like golgappas, I think.
Yeah.
And then like beats him up and stuff. You'll see that. I think it was like that in the original. Was it like Forrest Gump defending like Jenny? Yeah, it's similar. It's all similar stuff. And then at some point, we get to see. I was gonna say Indian Force. Lal joining the Indian Army. He meets like their equivalent of Baba, which is Bala. And they want to, instead of starting like a shrimp business, a shrimp restaurant chain, they want to do undergarments. Because because you'll see why.
Okay, so let's pause first and talk about the war.
The war, yeah, they're going to a war, and it's instead of like the Vietnam War as you see in the original, it's the Kargil War.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, why are they fighting, right? So in the original, they go to the Vietnam War. There was a big draft. Forrest was not drafted, actually, but he just didn't know what to do after he graduated university, and someone just handed him, a flyer and said, do you know what you want to do with your life? And he's like, sure. So he does it. And then like Bubba and stuff were like draftees. And that makes sense. A lot of people were put into that war. The Kargil War, especially, Forrest's mom's rich or has money. Why would any of these people volunteer to be in this war? And Killy, you had an issue with this too.
Yeah. So what is the thing is like, so they were not going to the war. They just they joined the army. So once you join the army, you don't have a say whether to go to the war or not. So Forrest
That's
joins
even
the
dumber
army.
then.
Yeah, Forrest joins the army because look, Forrest's motivation I can still get behind because okay, he's like okay, he has this heartbroken guy, he's not getting the girl, and then that's where I think he's like okay, I'll go for the army or something like that. But this guy Bala, the underwear guy, I mean, he's definitely has a business in his village making underwear, and then like a business person who is the sole earner of the family and leaving that business and joining the army is a very, very rare thing, and it's like it's almost never happens. Like, I mean.
Yeah, and the
that was
Kargil
like-
War wasn't like a galvanizing war like the Vietnam War, right? And can you explain a bit, like how long was it even?
No, it was almost a few months. It was a
It was
very,
nothing, though.
it's a
Yeah.
very, very important point of history in India-Pakistan conflict.
Can you explain the origins?
So what happened was origin of Indian-Pakistan conflict? No,
No,
I'm not
no,
going
no,
there.
no,
Oh,
no.
the
Kargil
Kargil
War,
War. Oh, okay,
just-
okay. So, so India finds out suddenly that there have been like a bunch of gangs of Pakistan army, the mountains
Kashmir.
there in Kashmir around Kargil. So they have to chase them out. So Pakistan always took a position officially that it was not their army. It was like freedom fighter from Pakistan, but everyone knows that it was Pakistan's army. Even Pakistanis admit to that now, but the Pakistan's officially never admitted. So it just started that war that you just encroached on our land, and then we just fight it back. So it was just a territorial war.
If this sounds familiar, if you've read the news recently, it's the exact same scenario as what just happened recently too. It seems like an endless fight over the Kashmir area.
This
I
history has a
wouldn't
line of control. Maybe
say-
explain
I
that,
wouldn't
Killy.
say it was a way more serious than this, and it was actually a real encroachment. And what recently happened was a terrorist attack, and India just going and fighting, and then like stuff like that. But that one was a real encroachment inside the border.
I did read there was 1,500 Indian casualties and 4,000 Pakistani casualties.
Yeah.
So they go to this war, and the other big difference here is the Lieutenant Dan they meet, right? So in the original, Forrest ends up like saving some people like during some bombing in Vietnam. In this one, he does the same, but he actually saves a soldier on the Pakistani side. In the first movie, they're on the same side. He's like American soldier. But this one, he saves the Pakistani guy and brings him back to India, I guess, to like, because his legs got cut off or something. So anyways, he's just in India. This will become important later, but it's a very big divergent take than the original film to like save the Pakistani guy and then have him become dependent and kind of grow up in India after that. It's
Yeah.
very weird.
He even has like a big flat, according to Kaylee. It's like in Mumbai. Remember, like the
Oh yeah.
Pakistan.
That's a complete fake. Huge
He's
apartment.
like a telephone booth operator.
Yeah,
and
he
has a-
rents like a telephone booth in 2022 or whatever. So like no one's touching that, and he's able to afford the nicest condo in Mumbai.
Well, that was happening. Rupa was going through her own like arc where she's like meeting some mobster to become like an action heroine in a movie. His name is Abbas.
Like classic skis ball producer, like you have to have sex with me to get this role. And she's
Yeah.
like, I'm not Forrest's mom. I don't sleep with people to help my position.
Yeah, and
But
then
she does.
Yeah, she does.
you get this like weird like scene where like Lal gets like awarded for being a hero from the Kargil War, and then like he just walks on the street and happens to like catch Rupa in the car, and he actually runs after the car to this like hotel, this swanky hotel, and then he sees like the mobster hitting Rupa. Which, by the way, we did point out there's a lot of hitting women here.
A
Oh
lot.
yeah,
It's
it's always Christians and Muslims beating women.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, he hits like he beats up Abbas, and then like Abbas said something like, "Oh, it's a good thing I have a lot of respect for the Indian army." Like, very nationalism. India's superior.
Even though I'm a mobster.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, sir. Thanks for punching me in the face, sir. Thanks for saving Kashmir, sir.
So like there's this like, and then next we have like this like New Year's party where Lal is sitting at a bar with
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. I forgot.
Muhammad Paji.
Yeah, the on wheelchair and all, and they're talking about starting the undergarment business.
Talking about the garments too, like the Bubba Gump thing, like was interesting because he's like really into shrimp and stuff. This guy just makes undergarments, and they do have a very funny like scene where like he does like Marxism 101, where he explains like how to like hire multiple garment workers and like how much they can produce each day and how much they need to produce total in like a week to sell and how much profit they can make. It's just like a very nice graphical explanation of like how to like exploit labor. It's just interesting. And then he breaks it down for Indian Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, and then we get like another like tonal whiplash where like he's just like watching TV where like the 2006 bombing.
Okay, so what happens is like so here the Muhammad Paji is not shown as a Pakistani army person. He is shown as like a terrorist, like a Islamic terrorist, and then he sees the 2006 Mumbai attack, which was a horrific attack. It was also linked to Pakistan. It was also linked to Lashkar-e-Taiba. It's like one of the Pakistani terrorist gang. So Ajmal Kasab, like he was looking at Kasab's footage on the TV, and he realizes that that anti-India propaganda that he grew up with is still going on in Pakistan, and the youth is like still brainwashed, and so he has to go back to Pakistan to like help kids not fall into that Islamic propaganda.
It's crazy. He says he said himself, he's like, I grew up learning so much hate, and like thank you so much for like showing me that Indians are actually really cool and based, and you're the good guys, and I'm gonna go back to my home country and teach them that we're the bad guys and to stop brainwashing them so they hate Indians for zero reason.
It was a surreal scene. We were just laughing at how surreal it all
like how
was.
could you be watching that though and not feel some sort of way? That's the thing. Like if it's just Lieutenant Dan with a bunch of hookers in the original movie, it's fun, but when he's like, you know, from the other side and just saying like, yeah, Indians the best and Pakistan sucks, so I'm gonna go try to make them not terrorists. That's like a really wild take.
Yeah. So that's what they do with that's what I was pointing out with the religion stuff, right? So it's like if you point out the bad side of one belief system in like again and again and again, and you just hype up the other side. So that's like it's definitely gonna look in certain way. I mean, that's what the film was doing. It's like, okay, I mean, there are terrorists, that's a reality. But like to say that, oh, we are all like that, and that's the only thing we are getting taught.
And they learn it in school. Like they like the schools breed terrorism is fucking
it's crazy. It's a wild take, and then that's where I was like, man, that sucks.
Yeah. If we just need to build more schools and teach kids not to, because kids are born wanting to murder people in a place they've never been to, and we just need to teach them not to.
It's already stupid because this is like one Indian man's actions that changed his mind. As if on an individual level, you don't have any nice Pakistani people, nice Indian people.
He's like, I've never had a friend until you because Pakistani guys suck.
Literally, he's like, we were brainwashed, but you saved my life. Now my whole opinion about India has changed because you saved my life.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. So they work together on the undergarment shop.
Undergarment.
He's the marketer.
They couldn't get it off the ground at first, right? Because what is it, Adam?
Because the name of the undergarment was a male name.
Yeah.
Do you remember what
Bala, named after
right,
the dead guy,
and
dead soldier.
they can't sell shit They cannot stay, and they literally give it away for free. So they have like scenes where like it's buy one get four free, and nobody's touching it, and they just have so much inventory. What are we gonna do? How do we fix it?
They were like watching like, and then one day the entire crew, the entire undergarment crew was like watching like a music video of a woman, and that's when our favorite Pakistani says, "That's it. Let's change it to a woman's name for our company." And what's that name? It's Rupa.
The undergarment company,
Rupa Undergarments,
which I don't think a lot of foreigners would know, but it's a huge
undergarment
undergarment
company. Yeah, that's what, even that scene happened. Like I was telling you that wait, he's like Bala is talking about undergarments, so he's gonna make an undergarment company, and Rupa. I was telling you like Rupa name this, like Rupa Undergarment is huge. He's like, and Adam while watching the film was like, that's what it's gonna be. Like he's gonna make the Rupa Undergarment. And then when they named Bala, I was telling Adam, see, didn't name it. Adam was like, wait, it will become Rupa eventually. And that's what happens on screen. And I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. And also if I found out like Rupa Undergarment was built in like 1960s.
Yeah, it's a lie.
I mean, yeah, that's a promotion. I mean, that's okay.
Well,
That's the
I'm
other-
surprised to hear it's a real company. So it actually produces men's undergarments. Because in the movie, when they changed it to women's name, I was just like, I don't get the logic. Because the
No, it
target
makes no
audience is
sense
men.
because why would people only buy it if it has? And that's the other thing. Like the guy's like, just name it after any woman. He's like, we just need a woman's name, and so he calls it Rupa, and then it's just flying off the shelves. When have you ever bought an undergarments when they changed the name? Like it's super weird. Like I need my underwear to have a woman's name on it.
I wonder if it had the same success if it was like Fatima undergarments, or if that would go
Yeah,
against.
just
no,
any
those-
woman. It
those-
doesn't matter. Just any woman's
That's
name,
a
and the
Muslim
thing will
name
That
sell.
comes from a wrong side.
It's a Muslim woman's
But
name.
to be honest, like I was a loyal customer of Rupa underwear because I used to like the cut of the what is it called? Banyan?
The like
vest,
we call it a
the
wife beater,
which is
Yeah.
What?
crazy.
In America, we
yeah.
call that a wife beater.
Just called a vest. A vest is the most neutral,
Okay.
but literally wife
Okay,
beater.
Because it's like a connotation, like it's hicks that wear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the vest. I really liked the cut of the vest. So I was a very loyal
You
customer.
can bend
of
your arms
Rupa.
backwards like they say in the movie.
Yeah, see, that's what.
Oh,
like,
it's
that's
fantastic.
what Bala says. Like like it's very important. Anyway.
In the original, like again, they make bubblegum shrimp, but that's not a real company. It became one later.
right.
But this one, it is like a straight up just promotion for Rupa undergarments.
Paramount was not giving enough money to the film, I guess.
Wild.
Do you think if the shrimping company name was changed to Jenny, you would buy more shrimp?
Way more. I mean, the reason I don't like Pepsi is because it's not a girl name, and I don't know what to do with it. That's why I drink Coca-Cola.
Coca is
Coca's a female name somewhere, and so I think, and so that's why I drink it.
Yeah, so he gets rich off of Rupa undergarments, like
Millionaire.
nonchalantly,
Very
very
rich.
casually drops the like Lal casually drops that he's the CEO of Rupa at the train.
he still has a sewing machine in his CEO office.
He just loves that is the one funny part. He's like, oh yeah, I'm the CEO and I make these myself. And when he's bored, he just makes his own undergarments, which is very funny to imagine.
See, he's not exploiting laborers.
No, you're right. He's
anymore.
exploiting himself. Yeah, good for him.
So he gets loaded and he decides to go back home because his mom was on her deathbed. And he tends to her, and then she passes away, and then eventually Rupa shows up, and this is the scene. I think it's exactly the same scene as in Forrest Gump. They spend time together, reunited, and there's like a shot where they're like sitting out at night, and Lal confesses his love for her, and he says, "But you won't." I paraphrase it. Okay, you won't have sex with me because I'm dumb. Right. And that's when you get that like tender love scene, which was okay, all
They have
good.
sex. They're
They
not
have
married.
sex. Not
That's pretty
married.
good.
It's okay. But then she like overnight like I think in Forrest Gump she leaves him. That's it. But in this one, she goes. The police comes after her
Wait, why?
because she was gonna be a whistleblower for the mobster.
Yeah.
That was it.
Interesting. Okay, so Keely, I have this question for you. and I think I didn't totally understand because like I don't speak the language and it was just subtitles. Is he? Does he have an accent? And does his character like appear? Does he speak stupid? Like Forrest Gump has like a southern accent and kind of talks a little slow. Does he do the same thing here?
Um. Oh, interesting question. Let me remember that.
I'm just curious because in the original, like, you know, yeah, Jenny does leave and can't be with him. He does like love Jenny and wants to marry her, but Jenny can't be with him. And you get why. Like, he isn't a fully developed adult. Like, he is slow in Forrest Gump. And you understand, like, she can't have like a meaningful relationship with him. He's just not on that level.
Mhm.
So you get it. And again, I just couldn't tell if I didn't understand his character in this movie or not, but like I didn't see a reason why Rupa couldn't be with him. What, like,
Yeah, that was a very. I mean, maybe it's a similar motivation not to be with him because he's kind of childish.
but is that obvious? Because I just couldn't tell.
But I don't remember. So I mean, I also watched Forrest Gump probably over a decade ago now. I don't remember, but I don't think Forrest's character was also like unlovable to the degree that
Not unlovable. It's just
describing
he
it.
wasn't capable of being on that emotional level. He's just too slow. So it's not that like he can or he's not in love. He's very lovable and she loves him. She loves him deeply, but she can't get out of him what a normal adult relationship would have. And
I
that's
don't-
very
yeah.
obvious in the movie. And so it's not just her, it's like anyone.
Mm.
But I'm curious if that is conveyed in this
I don't
one.
think the movie kind of drills down upon that a little
No.
bit too much. I think they kind of portray it more as Rupa choosing that because she has the agenda. Like Keely said, she wants to
Yeah.
become famous. So it's just like a misalignment in desires. In
So
life.
that's a big difference then. That's a
Yeah.
huge difference then.
Yeah.
Because in this one, like in the original, they did want to be together and Jenny loved him but just couldn't. And in
Mm.
this one, it just means he is capable of being in a relationship. I felt that way.
Hmm.
And there's not a really good reason why she isn't with him.
Honestly, like watching this, I don't think the movie like Rupa does not really shine in a very positive light. I don't
Yeah.
remember how Jenny was portrayed, but I think Rupa, like in the grand scheme of things, comes off as a bit selfish in this movie, and you kind of see her recognize that towards the end. But then at the
Yeah.
same time, like she gets with Laal Singh knowing that she has the illness. I don't know. It just kind of seems like a matter of convenience in this
Yeah.
movie, and like where she doesn't have anyone else, she has a kid now, so she has to go for him. I didn't see the love from her side as being very genuine in this.
In the original, the love is very genuine. She is just trying to pursue her dreams and, you know, joins like hippies for a while and joins some political protesters. Like, you know, is like following her heart and she's constantly punished to the point where she ends up playing music nude in like a strip show venue. And then she like gets AIDS and dies. Like the movie punishes Jenny. But the love connection is really strong in that movie. And you still understand why she can't be with Forrest, even though she would want to actually. But in this one, I didn't feel that from Rupa at all. I didn't feel the connection, and I feel like he could be in a relationship if she wanted to. I didn't get the character
I
thing.
think also another motivation is like when you are with a mob star, if you leave him, you might put life in danger, yours and also like the guy you are going with. So that can be another motivation because when they connect was that New Delhi at night they'd have like a nice romantic walk. I mean that's the first time they connect back, right? Like he's back from army. It's just so that's point of time. Like I think one motivation is she still sees that this relationship will get her land a role in Bollywood, and she will become an actor. And also, secondly, she's dating this huge mobster, and then if she leaves him, it might be fatal for her and as well as the boy as well. So, but
So-
I mean, yeah,
That's
I
a
mean,
character
a-
failing then. Then it's a very different tone. Anyway, so yeah, that part didn't really work for me because her motivations are unclear and they don't have a deep love connection. And
He loves her a lot. I think you see that in the movie where like he's always willing to save her. He'll come to her rescue at any time, and you almost kind of feel like she knows that, and she just keeps that as kind of a safety net, but will never prioritize him.
The music expresses his feelings through.
yeah, yeah.
I don't think Adam listened to it since there was no dance number.
I did not. Yeah, I actually was completely zoned out during the music stuff. I did not care.
Maybe I read the lyrics a little too much.
No, I was like staring at the wall.
So yeah, like she turns to the police, acts whistleblower to Abbas, and goes to a salon, works at a salon as a receptionist.
She's a receptionist.
Yeah.
At a nice modern day salon.
Like, okay, whatever. And just like in Forrest Gump, this hurts him when she leaves him, so he goes running. I don't know how long in this version. I don't remember.
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same as the original.
Same as the original. Then he runs and runs and
goes through all the Indian landmarks.
Yeah, it goes through like the Anna Hazare strike.
Movement. Yeah, Anna Hazare strike. That was a very anti-corruption movement happening before BJP came to power. He was like a very dubious person. Like at not that point of time, but later we found out because he doesn't say a word against the current government at all.
And then in the same run, he runs by a big
Modi
Modi
poster. So I was like,
so
oh, okay, here we go. Anyways,
free advertisement.
Big advertisement for Modi in Varanasi.
Yeah.
And then I guess he stops running and then decides to wear a turban. That's simply speaking.
Well, but because while he's running for 4 years, his hair grows, his beard grows, and then he goes home and he looks in the mirror and he's like, "Oh, I finally look like my grandparents, like my grandfather." Yeah. And there's this really nice scene where they play the ardas in the background. There's this prayer. I think most Sikhs grow up saying it. I remember the whole thing because I said it every night, even though I don't understand what it means. But this is like the Shabbat is playing in the background and he's tying his turban. That was a nice scene.
Why do you think they made him Sikh in this?
I was talking to Killy about this because the anti-Sikh riots, they display that and they see him kind of be in the middle of that. He has a jura when he's a young boy and his mom's hiding him, literally putting her chunni over him to hide the fact that he's a Sikh boy because it's identifiable with a guy,
And
less
cut his
so a
hair.
woman. Right, and so this moment of desperation, she finds like a shard of glass in the ground and just starts chopping his hair off. But then at the end, the movie kind of ends up having a very pro-Hindu narrative. So I found it quite ironic that the main character is Sikh, and you kind of see the anti-Sikh riots play out very much at the hands of Muslims. And I'm sorry, very much at the hands of Hindus, Congress Party. And then towards the end, it becomes like a pro-Hindu movie. And this anti-Sikh riots was never addressed throughout Indian history. I think they tried to like set up committees and all, but there's very limited accountability. There's been almost little to no prosecution for people who were responsible for it. So it's very ironic. It's kind of a
Like,
That's the same
I'm so
thing
curious
for...
though, because it is so pro-Hindu and like,
Yeah.
and it's a total choice to make him Sikh. So like, I'm just curious why.
I had the same exact question as you, Adam, and like I don't know if it was a slow character, so they thought having a Singh would kind of fit the Sikh
I think they
caricature
needed...
that they keep having in Bollywood, but I don't know.
I think while otherizing every other religion, they needed one ally in
And
this
I think
film.
they needed something neutral, and like Sikhism
Yeah.
is historically a neutral religion between Islam and Hinduism.
Do you think
And-
they were trying to show like this is what a good Sikh is or something? I don't know. I'm just trying to like guess.
No.
No, I don't think movie plays into that. I
Okay.
think it's just more.
We really rarely has bad Sikh characters. So I think the India carries this guilt of like Bollywood at least carries this guilt of like anti-Sikh program and everything, and then they will very rarely have like a bad Sikh character in Bollywood films. To be honest,
Yeah, Sing is king. We learned that.
Sing is King is the best movie to know how to be a good Sikh.
If you really want to know the story of Sikhism,
Not
Sing
a-
is king.
Not a-
I think they should teach it in schools in Pakistan so they can learn how good Sikhs are.
not a single writer or anyone was Sikh in this film. That film.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
All right, so Jenny.
So yeah,
Oh.
so as he wears the turban, right? That we go to the present where he's on his way to see Jenny on his way to see Rupa. And we have that same scene, he meets Rupa and lo and behold, she has a child and he finds out
Indian Haley Joel Osment.
and and we find out he's the father. And the thing that Adam showed us is that it's an exact replica of that shot of the scene where like the boy runs into another, like into the TV room and watches TV. Obviously.
Also with a receptionist of a salon's salary. Okay, with that 2-bedroom apartment. Fuck you, Bollywood.
Or she definitely milked the mobster before she left him.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I showed those things just because the contrast in acting is huge. I mean, you guys saw the original just before we recorded. Did you feel? I mean, did that stand out as like it's a moving scene? I think.
Yeah. That was like very over the top. The acting of Aamir Khan was very over the top. Like when he gets shocked those two expressions from like Tom Hanks and Aamir Khan is like very substantially different. But given like the Bollywood actors' acting skills, I would put it like not that bad because the bar is low for me. Like when I watch a Hollywood film, like it's most of the time the actors are acting way better than the standard Bollywood actors.
Yeah, but they're capable of it. But I just think he doesn't trust it. Again, he like falls on the script to explain what he's feeling. Like, is the son dumb like me? And he just doesn't carry it. The music hits too hard, and I think that's just the big difference between like why literally no one else except Tom Hanks could really pull this off.
That's the script writing 101. Tell, don't show.
Yeah, thanks, movie. I'm feeling. I hope my kid isn't stupid like me. Is he?
That's borrowed from Pitch Meeting.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess we can just wrap it up. It ends with, Rupa falling into sickness. Wait, they marry. They marry first. They have a very nice marriage with like a musical number.
Yeah.
And then I lost my train of thought.
She doesn't die from AIDS.
She does not die. That's what I was gonna say. She doesn't die from AIDS, but cancer?
No, she doesn't die.
We don't know.
They never disclosed.
It's like
right?
a millionaire.
She's like some virus.
Millionaire's wife never could be diagnosed. Like what ailment is killing her?
She
like
went-
that's crazy.
She went through the Final Destination machine.
Oh my god.
She dies. in
Go
the
into this
CT
MRI
scan.
machine. We'll figure out what's wrong with you. And then she gets like killed by like a Prince Charles piercing that goes through that guy into her face.
Bending her body like in half. Anyway, that's how. Yeah, she just ups and vanishes from the face of the earth, and then yeah, it just you get this like tender ending scene where Laal is sending his kid off to school, and then he like sits with his, was it a box of Golgappas? I don't remember, but then like and then like Feather goes out, and yeah, that's it. That's Laal Singh Chaddha.
Yay!
Rupa dies, but her name lives on in every man's underwear.
So the fear of stairs scale. Number 1, is there a staircase moment for you in this movie?
Not really, because like it's so close to the original Forrest Gump that you can kind of see everything coming.
Yeah, except the Pakistani Lieutenant Dan.
That is true. That is true. When he talks about opening up a school to unbrainwash people.
Yeah,
that was a wild out of the
that
blue
was-
thing.
Yeah.
For me, kind of was like when Rupa has a kid, but like she never tried to stop or contact Forrest
Right?
being
4 years.
being a millionaire. Like she knows her son is a this guy who would do anything for her. She has a son and then never contacts him.
He could fund a movie where she's the heroine.
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
dude, let's
yeah.
think about this.
Oh yeah. Yes,
All
right?
Next, dance floor clause. Was there a musical number?
Nope.
No, there wasn't.
There was music.
Yeah. Which I liked. I think they did this
Songs?
well. Like,
Really, it was like 2 soft songs, right?
Yeah, which I don't think we need dance numbers. I guess Adam likes that.
But
dance
well,
numbers
if you're gonna make a
lot more.
Bollywood like Forrest Gump movie, I mean, come on.
But it's all about his feelings towards Rupa. That was it.
Yeah.
I remember like it was just the same thing.
Family Feud factor.
It's Forrest.
Rupa's dad beating the shit out of her mom.
Out of the mom. In the original, he molests Jenny.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Like, she gets molested by her dad in
Is
the
it
original.
stepfather?
No, her dad. And
Oh.
then he goes to jail. In this one, he just beats the mom. And
But not
actually,
just beats. Like she ends up dying. Her mom
kills,
Yeah.
dies.
kills
Yeah.
her mom. Yeah.
and I will say the really funny part is then she goes to live with her grandma, and the grandma is Laal Singh Chaddha's servant in this
Right,
one. And so
right.
then she like lives in his house, which is like, that's nothing like the original. But yeah, the grandma actually happens to be like their servant, which is weird.
Family Feud. Yeah. Not much.
Yeah.
Not much. Family is the greatest place to be.
Thanks, Kelly. Those are wise words. Spice level. Regional heat check. Kelly, was this culturally or regionally accurate?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Or no, but like Golgappa doesn't come in a box, so yeah.
Yeah, big X on that one. That's not how you eat it.
They do depict a lot of Indian historical events quite well, I'd say. But then at the end, becoming a pro Hindutva BJP movie kind of ruins any regional heat.
And that brings us to our last one, the moral. How'd the movie leave you feeling? Or what's the movie's message?
Go eat some golkapas.
I mean,
Muslims
yeah.
are bad.
That's the message I got. Was like Pakistanis are like trained to hate people.
I laugh as I sweat too.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. This movie's on Netflix, so if you guys want to watch it, go ahead. I don't know. Would you recommend it if you're curious?
Only if you're a huge fan of Forrest Gump. And when I say huge fan, I mean like really huge fan, because Forrest Gump is just one of those movies that people are now looking at it in a different lens today.
Yeah.
It's just one of those movies that doesn't fly right in a modern
Undermining all the black achievements.
Yeah,
like
that's
if
it.
the sub
Yeah, I
was
know,
pointing
yeah.
out.
If you know, you want to like study kind of acting, it's really good to like watch a movie with the exact same character and the exact same events and kind of contrast. Otherwise, yeah, save it.
Yeah, it's funny because I was so eager to watch this, but after watching it, I'm just like, it's kind of meh.
Yeah, and that was the audience's reaction to it too. All right, see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye bye.